Welcome to the Sabo Ross experiment. We have liftoff. Woohoo! Hey, welcome to the Sabo Ross experiment. And today's episode, we are going to talk about OnlyFans. And man, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yes. Like, what is OnlyFans? What is it doing in the news?
Yes. And what I want to start with is the Coldplay concert.
Yes. Yes.
So,
that whole incident to where two married people, or at least one guy was married.
That's right.
Was at the Coldplay concert, and they put him on the kiss cam.
Yep.
He was with someone that was not his wife. It went super viral on the internet. Now he's lost his job. He's definitely losing his marriage.
Well, his wife's pretty silent. I mean, he is living at home still.
For now, he's living at home.
I mean, it became such a big story. The first day it came out, I didn't pay any attention because I was like, what, who cares? But then I got to see the footage of the concert. Did you get to see any of it?
I've never seen the footage, just the memes and the still.
Okay, well, first of all, I've got my Coldplay shirt on for this episode. This is my 2002 tour.
Okay.
But he's on stage now. In 2002, he wasn't doing kiss cam that I can remember. Maybe I was just too much out of it.
I think that's a new thing.
So they cut to the kiss cam, and there's this couple way up in the the boonies, and then he's like, oh, because right away when they cut to it, they split apart. It kind of disappeared, and then that made him go, oh, so when that happens, that usually means somebody's in an affair, something like that.
He actually said that on the microphone?
Yes, on stage, yes.
Oh, wow.
So then that got everybody like,
maybe we should post
yes, we better find out who that is, because it very well could be.
Because if a couple shows up on the camera, they generally don't tear apart like, oh, this was a bad thing.
No, they're like, hey, they're embracing and they're kissing and waving.
Yeah, so it was a strange reaction.
Yes. Okay. So that's that news, so I wanted to celebrate Coldplay and their years and years of great music. But so here's the wild side of this. His name is Brian, I think Brian Adel or something like that.
He's a scientist. Where is he scientist at?
Well,
was it NASA?
No, I don't even know if it's in this country.
Okay.
You got me.
I just know that he's a scientist and it's caused problems at work.
Well, I'll tell you, he's an astronomer.
Astronomer.
Yes, an astronomer. So this is where it gets interesting. All right, so all that happened. He got in trouble. They found out, the lady worked at his place as well. He's married, et cetera, et cetera. But then his wife does this little thing where she somehow releases some information, supposedly she did. This is all allegedly, and put out a thing where it showed that he paid $40,000 in one shot over time. Now, none of this has been verified, to OnlyFans.
Interesting.
Yes. Now, this is what sparked my interest, because here we are. We want to talk about OnlyFans, and then we have this situation that's like current news, and this took me to a different direction because what I wanted to, first of all, how about you give a little explanation of what OnlyFans is for the people that don't know? For somebody like me who is a novice, I know about OnlyFans, but again, I don't know a lot. So fill us in.
I'm not going to exactly call myself an expert per se, but no, the main issue for me has always been that several students I've had have turned to OnlyFans. Even some women I know that have gotten divorced and didn't have money have turned to OnlyFans as a source of income.
Now, wait. Back up again. Now, you say some people you know?
Oh, I personally know probably a dozen women that do OnlyFans.
Okay. So
that I personally know.
So they're women?
All women.
What age category?
Oh, it goes all the way from 21 to 22 to 45.
Okay. All right.
So full age and everything in between. All those ages in between that do OnlyFans. And so what OnlyFans is it's a strange thing. It has such a connotation, and it's very strange to see the way it's developed, because you'll have women that don't do any nudity at all, that do an OnlyFans, that have pictures of them in bikinis, maybe risque lingerie, but never nudity. You have other women that will do OnlyFans and they will only do topless and like artistic topless photos. And then on the furthest range, you have women that are on OnlyFans that do full-blown pornography, having sex on camera, multiple partners, whatever. The full range of pornography is also available on OnlyFans. So most people will take this black and white approach, saying, oh, if you're on OnlyFans, you only do full pornography, which is a misnomer. That's not entirely true. There are some women that don't do any nudity at all, and they still run an OnlyFans, and people pay money. But it's not just paying money to see videos and photos of someone. The real appeal of OnlyFans is, I guess, for most people, which is something that I can't relate to this at all, is they develop a virtual relationship with the men that are following. Like, they pay money to get personalized private messages or even personalized videos. Like, it could be something that's like, hey, happy birthday, Steven, I'm just wishing you all the best. Thanks for being my fan on OnlyFans. Some guy might pay $500 for a hot girl to say that to them.
Now, okay. Now, I want to go back to this $40K.
Yeah, $40,000 is a lot of money.
This guy supposedly was doing on OnlyFans. So I come to find out that there's quite a bit, like you had just said, there's quite a bit of levels of how much entrepreneurship goes on and how much money different people make.
Yes.
On the platform.
Yeah, because I think the biggest thing to keep in mind, and one last aspect of kind of defining OnlyFans, is the revenue sharing. So you have like an actress like Carmen Electra that used to be on Baywatch. She's only like a couple years younger than me. She just started an OnlyFans. And I don't think she's doing any nudity on the site either, but she's such a big name. She's generating significant income from people paying a monthly subscription, paying for individual content. Like, she might have exclusive photo set of her in some like purple lingerie or something, and people will pay $10 to $15 to get the 20 or 30 photos of her in that outfit. And the biggest appeal to it for these women is the revenue sharing, which is the site takes 40%, 50%. I'm not sure of the amount yet.
Right.
But hopefully we'll find out soon. But it's a revenue split, and they directly get the money. And it takes almost no time from the time somebody gives the credit card information to OnlyFans to the time it hits their bank account is 24 to 48 hours. So for these women, it's a fast way of making a buck and never having the danger of meeting someone in person, doing anything truly unsavory with someone you don't know them or their history.
Right.
So it's not the same as being something like an escort or a prostitute, because you're not meeting anybody and you're having a message exchange. At the most personal they get is sending private messages.
Well, but here's the thing. If you think about this is kind of, if you're treating it as a business and you want to make money, then that means you got to work for it, regardless whether you're photos, interactions, whatever. I think part of the problem that I have noticed about OnlyFans is that some people think it's a quick buck. It's with any business, right? You see somebody successful and you're like, oh, I can do that.
Well, especially in this case, when you're talking about, I'm a pretty woman, she's a pretty woman, and they don't understand that the one that's super successful, she's generating content daily.
Yes, it's a
job.
It's a job.
It becomes work to solicit and work to get those fans and keep them. Yeah. Constant work. It's a job. It's not a quick buck. I mean, it's a quick buck in terms of the speed, but there's no shortcut to making the real money with it.
Well, and I think also I found out a lot of the successful people always had a following on TikTok or Instagram already. Or YouTube. And of course, their pitch is, come to my OnlyFans if you really want to interact with. So if you like this dancing video, or you can actually like, oh, you mean I can actually talk to you, or
For a price.
yes, I mean they get
For a price, you can
it's
talk
like
to her.
get you in the door,
Yes.
and then suddenly hit you with like, hey,
I didn't realize that there was this. I've been getting in the last couple of years. I've been getting so much into cooking, and I like all these YouTube videos, even vertical videos of anybody. Like usually, I see a guy that's my size or bigger that's making ribs. Those are my favorite channels.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll suggest, oh, here's this pretty like 23-year-old girl.
Yeah. She'd make
That's like this one that calls herself, I think, Sandwich Cutie.
Yeah, I've seen her.
She's this beautiful black-haired girl that's always like, do you want me to make you a sandwich?
Yeah.
And she shows you, and she's actually like this phenomenal cook.
Yeah.
She's got an OnlyFans.
Oh, she has an OnlyFans as well.
So it's like the YouTube stuff is a solicitation where she makes the real money on OnlyFans.
Look at that. Now, see, that's brilliant.
Now, I never thought she, I mean, again, it's not a judgment to say, oh, I didn't think she was an OnlyFans girl. It's nothing like that. It's more of, oh, I thought the cooking stuff was so successful.
Yeah.
That she wouldn't need or want to do that. But again, it's not to say that she shouldn't or whatever. Like, I have no moral judgment against it.
Well, what's crazy about it, if you think about this, we could use her as an example, since I do know, I've seen her on
Sandwich
TikTok.
Cutie.
So think about this, though. If you have to interact one-on-one, so now your time is so valuable, because if you want to make money that day, there's only so much time in the day. You're going to have to interact with every single person every 5 minutes or something, all the way through the night, where you're never going to get a break.
Yeah.
I mean, that's work.
It's real work, especially when they're starting out and they're trying to build
Yeah.
the kind of following that has sustainable money.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you about, I want to go back to this $40K payment that we started the show with.
Yes.
So here's what I found out. Supposedly, there is an OnlyFans girl. I don't know if you know this, her name, but it's Sophie Rain. She's like top notch.
I've heard that name only in seeing like a news story talked about her being like the highest paid OnlyFans girl.
I had to do a little bit of homework on this. Now, supposedly, he was paying her to talk to her, whatever her
paying
services
to see her
are.
videos,
Right? She
doesn't
doesn't
see photos, paying to interact.
According to her,
whatever.
she's a Christian, doesn't do nudity, that kind of thing. So we'll leave it.
Sophie Raines doesn't.
No, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But she does, whatever she wants to do. She's got her thing. Now, besides him, she put out some of the statistics of the money. So, these aren't exactly right, but for example, sounds like complete insane. The girl had to work 24/7. She did like maybe 40 million last year.
Good Lord.
And one of her biggest customers has paid her $4.7 million to talk to her on the phone daily about nothingness. And now she talked about what she's done with some of this year. She's having a great year. She might be going to hit 50 million. So she bought herself a farm, paid cash, which a great idea. She bought herself a couple diesel trucks. This is her talking. I mean, I read this article. She wants to work the farm. She has family that she takes care of. Who that is, I don't know. But this is going to get you. And she went and bought a private jet. And she's made a video of her dancing in the private jet, showing that the money that these men, and she specifically said men, have made her to be able to buy this jet. Now, I started thinking like, well, have you not ever heard of net jets? Because I don't think you need to buy a jet. Look what Diddy did. Diddy bought a jet, and all he did was bitch about how much the gas cost. But the fuel. But anyway.
So the advice for this OnlyFans girls is take some different financial advice and possibly
lease
instead of buy.
You'll get people waiting on you hand and foot, and they take care of the maintenance. I don't want anything to happen to her up in this plane. I want to make, think of Leonard Skinner.
She can still do the dancing.
Yes.
She can still do the dancing in the plane. It's just going to save her some money.
So I'll come back to Sophie, but she's 20 years old. That's it. She's 20, and she paints the story of being poor, all those kinds of things. And what I've learned is a lot of the OnlyFans are girls that aren't even of age to go to a bar to get in.
Yeah.
And they look up to a girl like this. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but we're talking, 15, 16, 17-year-olds who maybe might start making some money or maybe not, and find that this whole thing is kind of a scam.
Yeah, because again, the scam is the way these things appear online is it looks like they're partying all the time. You're making $40 million and you never have to do anything unsavory, but you may not have to do anything unsavory. But what you do have to do is what you brought up. Work your ass off.
Yeah.
That's the big thing missing from the equation is because so much of this reason I wanted to bring this up was a big article in the news recently about, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 of these OnlyFans girls bought a house together in Florida.
That's what I want to talk about. It's called the Bop House.
Exactly.
Now, Sophie is the one that engineered that whole thing.
Okay.
I believe.
That's what I thought.
And I believe it was like $10 million investment.
Yes.
Something of that nature.
And it's basically a house where they can create content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
With guys they know that might be, attractive or whatever, or who agree to be in videos with them. So it's a business.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's just like any other, Instagram famous people that, or just in the general term. What's interesting today is it's now just called content creator.
Right.
Now, OnlyFans is a branch of content creator that has this dark mark because it's assumed you're a full-on porn star, which that's not always true.
Right.
So, but content creator, and the way that there's a cross-pollinating, like Sandwich Cutie is, she's on YouTube and TikTok doing her vertical videos making a sandwich for some unknown guy. And what's brilliant about her style is she has a real-life boyfriend. That's clear. And she's offering a sandwich to him, but he's operating the camera, so it's making all these men, and some women, but mostly men, watching feel like she's offering this to me.
Oh.
She's looking down the barrel of the lens. She's looking right in the lens
Yeah.
and talking to these people. And the whole thing about OnlyFans, the real appeal is not the nudity. It's the personal connection. It's the one you brought up with Sophie Rain, where she says some guy's spending $4 million to talk to her on the phone. He has a relationship with her that's now partially real. Now, for her, it may not be real at all.
Yeah.
It's just somebody she talks to, but she's not going to talk to him if he stops paying.
Yeah.
So it's not a real relationship. But for him, it's not up to us to determine what's real or not to him.
Yeah.
If he's spending that money and has no regret, who the hell are we to say he's wrong? I can only say that for myself, I don't buy into that illusion of a relationship. Like I can't feel like that with someone that it's like, the moment I'm paying you, it doesn't feel like we're really anything,
Yeah.
So to me, it's like I'm the worst possible customer for somebody like OnlyFans, because it's like, yeah, I don't. If I can't physically touch you and we don't actually know each other, then I don't care, and it's not gratifying.
Well, here's the thing: you must be a minority.
I am absolutely the minority.
When I look at this overall, what does it say about society in general? Because I don't understand. I'm going to take it back. When I was a young man, I was in New York City doing a job in Times Square area. At that time, Times Square was nothing but pornography.
And prostitutes.
In prostitutes. And I actually went in I've never seen anything like it in my life, but I went into one of these places and they had animals, they had a boxing ring, they had all kind of weird crap going on. I never ever saw it again anywhere else, but you would see it there. And, if you think about the history of, what do you call it, peep shows?
Yes.
Put in a quarter. Here comes the window comes down. Put in a quarter. So OnlyFans to me is almost the exact same thing for somebody to just like put in that credit card, put in swipe, okay, 100, next $4.7 million. What idiot, I'm sorry, what idiot is going to spend $4.7 million to talk to a 20-year-old? You know what you could do with $4.7 million? I don't care how rich you are.
buy homes for the homeless. You could do a lot of things with that money.
You could have hundreds of girlfriends that you could touch.
And it would be equally vapid.
It's almost...
Well, here's the thing that goes with what you're saying, though, is I have an answer to your question.
Good.
Which is, what does it say about society? And that's where two things I have for that, in my opinion. And I'm an idiot that doesn't really know much. I can only anecdotally tell you what I've experienced in my life. And in talking with younger people, for them, it's not much different than an actual relationship is to a 22-year-old today, or a 20-year-old especially. All of their relationships are texting, DMs on Instagram, TikTok videos. And what is OnlyFans? It's an extension of that, except you're paying.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So to them, that virtual relationship isn't any different.
Yeah, for
because
them,
so much of their real relationships are virtual.
Yeah.
So OnlyFans is just an extension of that.
Yeah, that's for the people that work for OnlyFans. I'm talking about the people that pay.
That's what I'm talking about. The people that pay, like the young men.
No, but I'm not talking about young men. I'm talking about middle-aged men who are not a TikTok or Instagram person.
Well, again, for that
what's wrong with them?
To me, there's a psychology there too, because I've had this conversation recently with friends about the explanation of like sexual attraction in a broad sense. And again, I am not a psychologist or psychiatrist. This is purely amateur hour opinion, but it comes down to our lizard brain. When what we find attractive tends to be, as men, we find younger women attractive because it's literally, we mask it with lingerie, but the reality is we're looking at a young body and we find it biologically, we are aroused because she can bear children.
Well, I don't agree with that. I don't. I don't agree.
I think there's an aspect
if
it's biological.
Yeah. Well, no, I think biological for men can be any age woman.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't want to put it because they're young. Because as you said, there are complete age groups on the platform.
But then you have young men interested in older women for
well, sure.
various attractions.
Yes, you can put them all in baskets if you want.
But at the same time, it's much harder for a 65-year-old woman to run an OnlyFans unless she looks substantially younger.
Well, it all comes down to how much you want to work it. I mean, that's really all it comes about. I don't care if.
But at the same time, it's like if most like 65-year-old women that look natural, that aren't trying too hard to look young, they're not going to be the most successful on OnlyFans. And I mean, that's a harsh reality.
Well, no, that's true.
So
unless they got into the bop house and they put in a 100-year-old in the bop house.
True. And so here's the thing is I still think that, again, attractive is not always about a 20-year-old, but I'm saying if anybody's wondering why in this specific case of this guy paying $4.6 million to talk to a 20-year-old, it relates to a multitude of things. Number one, there's power.
Yeah.
He's spending money and he's taking up her time, and she made $40 million this year. To him, psychologically, I bet it's some kind of win.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, if you really want to get into the psychology of it, yes. We don't know what kind of person this is.
Yeah, we don't know anything about him.
And,
and it is an assumption that could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a degree of control involved, meaning I wanted this and I have enough money to get it. Meaning I want her time. I want her on the phone.
That's right. It's a win.
And I got the money to do it. And so that's power being exerted.
Right. What is it?
I have a hard time believing that there's too many other explanations for that.
Yeah. Well, I think I can remember some people, men or even women, one more notch in the belt. One more notch in the gun handle.
A trophy.
The
other thing with that, if he's spending $4.6 million and has that kind of disposable cash, everything about that is a trophy.
Yeah.
Psychologically, it could be the delusion that he has a real relationship with this girl because he gets her on the phone.
Let's hope not. But on a professional level, for her, yes, she's going to treat him nice. She's going to be respectful, probably. I think
bought her a jet.
Yeah. I think also I've also heard or read that a lot of the women, this isn't it turns out to be something they wish they never did, because the amount of time, but the amount of pressure behind the scenes that they get to do things that they don't really want to do. Some of them have sent out nude photos when they don't do that, but somehow they were convinced. They got convinced. The pressure. There's pressure.
So that's the thing about it is that's a really we have to argue the subjective versus objective aspect of this, and this is a very fascinating point. Are they being exploited when they choose to do things? Because that's not a black and white. That's not a yes or no question, in my opinion. Are the girls and women that do OnlyFans victims in some way? When they're profiting, they have control, they can always say no. There's no real physical risk of danger unless they tell someone something they shouldn't about where they are and how to find them. But then there's also the level of, like you said, if they're desperate for money, hurting for money, like if it's a single mom that didn't get enough money from the government that month or whatever, she got into trouble. She overspent and didn't have money to put food on the table for her children. And you've got a guy saying, I will give you $1,000 if you send me a photo of yourself fully nude. That is exploiting her.
It is exploiting her.
She has a choice.
Yes.
But like you said, that pressure can't be ignored either. So to me, this is not black and white.
Yeah.
Because she has a choice, but the choice is let my children starve or send a stranger nude photos.
Yeah. Well, that's extreme. That's extreme, but I mean, I'm sure that's part of a lot of the girls that are on there are the ones that have nothing, that are trying to have no hope, maybe. But it almost sounds like the ploy that a prostitution ring would use.
Yes.
You know, you're just like, you find them out on the street and they got no clothes, and you make promises, and next thing you know, they're being shoved around for sex.
Yep.
So now that these girls are their own bosses, but the thing is, when you're successful at something, suddenly you get excited, and then you might expand on it, and you expand. Next thing you know, 2 years goes by, and you're like, what happened to me? Why am I doing this? Why am I
performing sex acts on camera for money?
Yes.
And so
you wake up.
It can happen, and there's other people where that mentality, the idea of sex as liberating, and like it could be a thing on OnlyFans and even expanded to, but it's not the same kind of ratio, but Pornhub, but mostly we're talking about OnlyFans. They could be having sex on camera, but it's with their boyfriend or husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like they don't have an open relationship, but they are making money by having sex on camera, and people are paying thousands, if not millions of dollars to see it. What's the moral implication there? They're married. They're not cheating.
Yeah. Well,
and it becomes a thing of like, it's not something like, no one's ever going to be interested in seeing me have sex with someone, so it's not a problem I'll ever have to worry about. But in terms of like how those real life relationships work, in one respect, it's none of my business, but then they're making it public.
Yeah.
So
think about
chiming in with an opinion seems like okay, just because it's an opinion.
Before OnlyFans, which I think it's only been around, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I'm not
Maybe
sure.
As much as 10. I don't know.
Before, it had a different name when it first started.
Okay.
It went on for a couple years, only had like 400,000 subscribers, and then suddenly something happened. Oh, COVID brought this around because
put it in overdrive.
That's right. Yeah.
Overdrive. OnlyFans is suddenly, and again, tying to what I was saying earlier, if you're under 25, it's just an extension of relationships.
Yeah.
People were having that kind of virtual Zoom sex with their actual partners. So how is this much different?
Yeah. Yeah. And what I was going to say, though, was think about the sex tapes before all this stuff, how Tommy Lee and
Pamela Anderson.
Yes. And think about, some construction guy stole the tape from the house and released it. How did they release it massively across the whole United States?
They sold it to a porn company for millions. Like they sold it for $500,000, then they sold it for $20 million worth of sales at the back of video stores.
So if you think about, in one regard, what you had just said, if Tommy Lee and Pamela had sex and did it as an OnlyFans
and charged, they would have made all the money instead themselves.
And they're probably like, "Ooh, I never thought of that."
And I think that's a significant difference today. That's one of the things that makes OnlyFans a bit more positive, which is ownership and control.
Yeah, that's right.
They own the images, they own the videos, and they profit directly from it.
Well, and this is another extension. I had a neighbor, didn't know this for the longest time. If you remember, there was a thing where it was just on the phone.
Yeah, old
women,
phone sex thing.
Yeah, women offered her service through the phone call and would talk dirty, to somebody. And, people did that, just phone calls. Now, that seems super harmless, but video has changed everything.
But the thing is, this is different because they're not orally describing sex acts with you. This is even less direct. This is, here's a set of photos or a video I already made. Will you pay $75 to see it?
Now we got to take this to the dark side, which I don't have the names, but when I read articles about a specific girl having sex with 100 men on OnlyFans, and I didn't get it. Like, okay, so now how did it go from somebody like Sophie Rain, who says she's a Christian and, doesn't do all that bad, she's whatever, then to a girl that wants to go have sex with 100 men, which reminds me of a porn that I saw, in 1984 or something. So how can they condone something like that on OnlyFans?
Well, OnlyFans, I think, is taking, similar to Facebook, an extreme freedom of speech stance, which is, because legally, they're not responsible for what any user does on their platform whatsoever.
But what if that stuff gets out past the platform? I mean,
it's up to the user owns the copyright in their video. It's up to them to enforce that copyright through civil action.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the extremity of what you just described, some girls want to stand out and be different and be more extreme because that will get a certain amount of niche viewers that then pay the money that sustains their life.
Well, what do you think that means for OnlyFans? You think that's like a heavy advertisement that makes even more people want to pay attention and subscribe to OnlyFans when you hear stories like that?
Well, here's the thing is, again, it's like, it depends on whatever that person's kink is. And it's a thing of, what young people call kink shaming, which is like, if somebody has a thing, if she wants to sleep with 100 men, to me, that's her choice. She can do that. And I have no interest in watching it. I have no interest in watching one girl get a train with 100 guys having sex with her.
And on that one,
it doesn't appeal to me and anything I'm interested in. But for the people that do find that appealing in some way, and again, the question is, unless she was forced to do this against her will, I generally don't have that extreme of a freedom of speech stance. But in this case, my opinion, she can do whatever she wants. And if there's people that'll pay to see it, that's between them. You're never getting my money for that.
So do you think equate that to more like a pay-per-view event? Because now that's going out.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah, that's a pay-per-view that's going out to all her followers. Say, look, I'm going to go live and have sex with 100 men. So this isn't for one specific guy. This is for all her fans.
All of her fans that for some reason would fantasize they're one of that 100. And there's the tickle that it's a live stream, which means it's happening as they're seeing it as it happens.
Yeah.
Like it's somehow more real because it's live stream.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, like everybody, it's like I have certain kinky things I like that may not be, they're not the just total missionary thing, but I don't feel the need to necessarily broadcast that. But again, I'm not gonna shame someone who does.
Yeah. I mean,
but at the same time, I'm right there with you. It's like, I don't understand the appeal for either of the guys and especially not for her. Like that just sounds really sweaty and painful and unsanitary. That's all I think when I think of something like 100 guys. I keep thinking, condom or not, I'm like, that's a lot of sweaty men. Well, and it also seems tiring. Like it seems like, are you going to have sex again in the next month? You need some recovery, girl. Like, my interest would be more like, can I bring you an aspirin and maybe one of those cold presses or something? It's like, a cold compress.
I'm going to say, are you human? Because I don't think the human body is cut out for that. They did interview her.
At the same time, the interesting thing to that, and I answered that, I was like, try pushing a baby through there. I think the 100 guys is more preferable to pushing the baby through.
Well, I think afterwards she was not happy with herself. And I could be completely wrong. But then, as time went by, I heard that she was now going to try to do more, beat that record of 100. So who knows? Is it
is it financial that did it?
Well, that's what I say.
Is it pressure? Is it even just the fandom going, oh, I loved it? And there's encouragement.
Yeah.
And because think about, again, amateur psychology, because I am not a psychologist, but there's a term called histrionic, which has nothing to do with history. Histrionic means someone that is constantly seeking attention and using sex or sexuality to get it. And this is way more prevalent than it used to be. Anybody that's like a girl that would just bring up a non sequitur is like, well, my tits are huge today. Do you see this bra? It's like, like these are not necessarily OnlyFans. Like these are just people we might know, that someone who's constantly bringing attention to their sexuality to use sex to get attention.
Yeah. Well, there are people that do. There's a lot of people. That.
It's a common psychological disorder. Not if disorder is the right word. Just it's a common psychological issue that a lot of people have. And there's men that do it too, that constantly talk about their sexual prowess. It's the same thing in inverse. But for women that do that, it's like, if there's this incredible need for attention and their sexuality brings it, they're more likely to use it.
Then those people should be porn stars. Because,
but OnlyFans is an alternative to that. To where
right,
it's not,
that's what I'm saying. Though. You're basically a porn star on OnlyFans.
Correct. And that's what she is. I mean, there's no question that what she does, having sex with 100 men on video and selling on OnlyFans, is pornography. But it also doesn't mean that every single girl on OnlyFans is a porn star.
No, not at all. But I guess I'm painting the picture of one person here, Sophie, who has made multi-millions, who does it above board, so to speak, meaning, as far as we know, no sexuality in it. And then you go to the extreme of like real porn of the 100, having sex with 100 men as a pay-per-view event, as the way I equate it. And then you just talked about where we were saying, okay, why would she do it again? Right?
Yeah.
And I paint this picture now because I use this pay-per-view. I don't know whether you watch Mike Tyson.
Oh, I used to back in the day on cable when they had pay-per-view events to watch the fight.
Yeah, so did I.
It's like $40 to watch the fight. I paid that many times.
He'd bring in $50 million.
Yep.
Now, his last fight, I watched it. There was a big hype with the YouTuber.
The Cleveland guy.
Yeah.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
Well, I don't know which.
They're brothers?
They're brothers. One of them drove him in, and the other.
I think Jake Paul's the boxer.
I think Jake's the boxer. But what was interesting was, I equate this to the same thing of if this girl wants to go do 200 men next, I picture it just like Mike Tyson going in at age 50 plus.
60 plus at this point.
And fighting Jake Paul, who is a YouTube star and by right now a real boxer. I mean, he really is. But there was no way Tyson was going to win, but everybody was rooting for him.
Yep.
And, he basically wanted the paycheck. So in one regard, if she's going to do 200 men, I don't think she's doing it because she wants to challenge herself. She probably saw the numbers.
She just wants the money.
You got to want the money. There's no other reason for it.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as it's consensual.
Yeah.
Like, she's choosing to do this. If she regrets it later, it's like, you chose to do this.
Yeah. Well, that's like doing drugs,
Yeah, it's. But the difference there, though, is
once you're hooked.
The problem with drugs is it affects your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
In a way that in certain drugs, like acid and whatnot, could permanently reroute your neural pathways. Yeah. And you could be changed forever by it. There's also the addictive quality, which is like the way the dopamine hits.
Yeah.
And the way it goes with those sensors, it's like you can do real physical harm to your brain.
Right. Well,
this is not the same as that.
No, but what I'm saying, though, is sex can be like a drug for certain people. There
is also dopamine and effects of sex, that it has chemical reactions in your brain, and that's factual.
Yeah. And they call those nymphos.
Nymphomaniacs.
You remember when we were in high school, it was like, can I meet a nymphomaniac?
And the strangest thing about stuff like that is, like, I was in high school in the 80s. I graduated in 1990. And there's certain things that we used to say and do that were like, to me, the funniest thing as a sidebar is like the ultimate insult was to call another guy a fag.
Oh,
and
God.
be like that was like the only. Like,
yeah, well, we used to use that all the time.
And here's what's funny is that so did I, and I regret it because today, with kind of my understanding of that, it's like I'm not gay and I'm not bisexual, but from everything I've known and learned, especially having friends that I knew in high school that were gay and I didn't know it at the time, and there was always like the one or two guys that you knew were gay that were flamboyant about it. Like one of them was a guy I went to school with at Pickerington High School. His name was Tad. I'm not going to say his last name. That guy lives in New York and looks like he's 35 and dating like one of the hottest 25-year-old guys I've ever seen in my life. And that's from a heterosexual. So it's like Tad did something right in life by being gay. But he made some really good life choices with how he's living. But no, but for like all these other guys, it's calling someone a fag then it's today that would be like, you're somebody with a genetic disposition to prefer vanilla over chocolate. And it's like, to me, it's like, that's not really an insult as much as just like a difference, you know? So to me, it's like, I have regret over using that word so much in the 80s that was so commonplace.
Oh, it was common into the 90s.
Into the late 90s even,
Yeah.
It was very common. But I think that time has shown enlightenment through things like that.
Yeah. But to get back, I kind of want to put a bottom line on this. I wrote this out, and so you tell me what you think. OnlyFans is marketed as an easy, empowering path to wealth, but beneath the surface lies a web of exploitation, relentless pressure, eroding boundaries, mental health crisis, and lasting regret. What do you think?
I don't fully agree with that. I think that is definitely what happens for a percentage of people and girls that use OnlyFans. I don't believe that encompasses all of them. I think that in the current age, and we're in 2025 right now, and I think where attitudes and stuff like that, we're dinosaurs compared to where a 20-year-old girl is at. I think the problem is I think that the initial part you said, the sales pitch from OnlyFans about get rich quick, be empowering, control, I think that's also highly misleading from the very thing we started with.
Yeah.
That's not telling them how much fucking work they have to do to get that kind of money.
That's right.
So I think it's highly misleading. I'm not going to sit here and be judgy and say you should aspire to be more, but I would say I would hope more women would aspire to be something else as well. Like,
yes.
Again, going back to our favorite from this episode, Sandwich Cutie. If she decided to quit OnlyFans and only do cooking, that doesn't change anything for me. I'm not subscribed to her OnlyFans. I'm not giving her that money anyway. Yeah. To me, I wouldn't lose any content. So, but I mean, I like this cross-pollination. It's like, she's got something else to do. There's an example I'll give of someone in Columbus. We've talked about this prior to this show, which is, and I'm not going to get too specific, but there was a girl that was a local model in Central Ohio. She did some radio stuff, and she was one of the first people to go OnlyFans. And she's got all those beautiful tattoos and stuff like that. And she made so much money from OnlyFans, she was able to move herself and her boyfriend to Vegas. But part of what she did with all this money coming in is she bought a house and decided she wanted to get into Airbnb. And that was awesome that she had bigger plans. She's, again, it's not necessarily ageism as much as maybe her taste changed, but as she's getting closer to 30, she's like, I want to have other plans. So she was not a dumb girl at all. But she did make a horrible mistake with her Airbnb. She didn't 1099 her contractors. And she was in a panic, and so she ramped up her OnlyFans and got all the money for the taxes she owed in no time at all by just really amping up and focusing on OnlyFans.
And working hard at it.
She worked hard at it. There's no question. Yeah. She maybe even did things she wouldn't normally do on OnlyFans to get that money because of the desperate need to pay those taxes.
Yeah. Well, again,
But again, it was all her choice.
Yeah.
All of it was her choice. She never lost that empowerment that they referenced. But will she later in life regret? Maybe she sent photos she's going to regret later. Maybe she did things on camera she might regret later to get that money. So again, I don't think anything in this is black and white.
Yeah.
I don't think anything is an absolute. And so here's the thing is about this girl is like, I think most of her like Instagram switched over to building Airbnb and what it's like to be a host, like a successful host.
Well, the other thing I want to note on this is the majority of, I think, of the women on OnlyFans are 29 and under.
Mostly,
it's
yes.
a younger crowd.
Not entirely, but mostly.
No, but I mean the ones that are making probably the most money. I think you kind of brought that up. But I think the thing that would make sense with anything, nothing lasts forever.
Correct.
I was able to get a good 25 years out of my first business. But you don't see it coming. Like when things start to change,
they could change overnight.
Yes. So my advice for any entrepreneur, whether it's on OnlyFans or especially while you're young, don't blow all the money. Do
Correct.
what you said, or she did. Sophie bought a farm, buy land. What a great idea. That'll be worth something forever.
Don't blow that money.
Yeah.
Have a financial advisor that prevents you from yourself, especially if I'd had that kind of money at 25, I'd still be broke by 30.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, well, to have that money at 20, come on.
I would 20 years old?
Yeah, because think about lottery winners. Most of them
blow it.
They run out and they buy a Ferrari, Lamborghini, and a house, and next thing you know, or they invest it poorly, like without real advice. Treating
investments like a casino.
Yes. And there are so many people out there to swindle you.
Yep.
So overall, I can't knock OnlyFans after listening to you and reading and seeing some of the good that people are making money, but then also reading some of the bad. It's just another thing. I don't think it'll last.
Nope.
I don't think OnlyFans it'll evolve into something else.
Well, I think the site might survive, but the individual users, they've got to get used to the fact that people's tastes change, including their own.
That's right.
But their fans may not stay loyal. They might, when the girl hits 30, they might go to another 20-year-old because that's what they're looking for. That's what they started with. So, and there's just other things about they might not necessarily regret doing it. It's like, well, I don't want to do full sex anymore. I'm just going to do regular photos. Well, if that's what their fans were paying for and want, and then they're not getting it, they're likely to go away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do. So fans only stay around for so long.
And that's true of virtually anything. It's like, there's bands I listened to in the 80s that I can't stand today.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go see their concert today, whereas that would have been like, I'd have missed school and been suspended and gotten grounded for 2 weeks just to see that band that one night.
Yeah.
That I don't even listen to the songs anymore. So time is the factor that nobody's considering, and I agree completely. The only advice to give to an OnlyFans girl today is not necessarily don't do what you're doing, but if you're making money, save some
of it, please.
Invest wisely. Take it from somebody that used to be a Series 6, Series 7 trader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to do mutual funds, stocks, and whatnot, and invest.
Now,
invest correctly. Save money. Be smart with your cash. Nothing lasts forever.
Now, I wanted to add one other twist to this, because since this is the Sabo Ross experiment, and we talk about all kinds of things, and today it's OnlyFans, I have to throw in the fact that I had an idea for OnlyFans, and this won't happen tomorrow, and I'll throw you can throw in your idea too after this. I talked about humanoid robots, and stuff, and you talked about sex bots, and they exist in China already,
in Japan too.
So the test would be for me to build a little harem of humanoids, sex bots,
or what could really work with OnlyFans right now, that going to where we started with this podcast with some AI tests, and the latest versions of AI generated video, you could invent an OnlyFans girl.
Oh, absolutely.
And having an OnlyFans account run by an AI bot or bots, like an army of non-existent women that use AI to reply and charge to tell these guys what they want to hear, and then even generate video that looks photorealistic
No, absolutely.
And it's not a real person.
Yeah, and that stuff already happening. So a lot of people don't realize they're interacting on Instagram with women that don't exist.
And Facebook. I mean, I see it a million miles away.
Yeah.
As a single guy in my 50s that's old, fat, and ugly, I get hit daily, 2 to 3 times a day, from blatantly fake accounts on Facebook that are just like, hey, do you want to talk? And I'm like, why would a 23-year-old gorgeous woman want to talk to me? What do we have to talk about?
Movies.
Second, she doesn't want to talk to me about movies. She doesn't want to watch.
Well,
movies.
then you go.
I would, if she were a real person, I'd break up with her after the first day. It's like, to put your fucking phone away. We're in a movie theater. This is my church. So unless it's a girl that can actually watch a movie without her fucking phone in a movie theater for 2 hours. I'm chasing a unicorn at this point to find a woman that will sit through a movie without her fucking phone. Number one. Number two, though, is like she's 23 years old, gorgeous, and only has 8 photos. Does not exist. That's fake. Yeah. The other thing is, if she's joined Facebook in the last year or two and she's under 25, fake account. If she only has like 53 friends, fake account, because no girl that looks like that in real life is limited to 53 people on the internet following her and trying to talk to her. So it's so blatant. And the other thing is, the other dead giveaway is like, it's like, where do you live? It's like, we're friends on Facebook and you can't fucking read my profile? Tell me where I live? Yeah.
Well, this brings back another thing. And I had a friend that actually did this. But do you remember, and it still might exist today, where you could go and order a Russian bride?
Yes.
Or,
ooh, that stuff's scary.
Another country where these women, they would come. They would actually come, but they're trying to get citizenship into the United States, and then right
after the 2-year mark, a moving truck shows up with a bunch of Russian movers that takes half your stuff, and these big guys are telling you, you say nothing, she take half your stuff, we leave. Yeah, we'll serve you with divorce papers in a week.
So OnlyFans is like, I mean, it put everything. I even started thinking about the movie Pretty Woman.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like this story has been told so many ways, but this took it to the digital age of, buying a bride in Russia, to going to the XXX theater, to putting the quarter in the
section, live section with a glass thing with the wall.
And I've seen all these things in my life. Like I said, from the stuff in Times Square.
OnlyFans is just the natural digital evolution.
Yeah, so it's super clean. Club. You don't have to leave your house. You've got high-speed internet, and you got big TVs.
And just like at a strip club, instead of buying her a drink, you're buying a monthly subscription to her OnlyFans.
Yeah. That's it. And the thing is, what a model.
Normal people at a strip club understand this. We're talking, but we're not really friends. I'm paying for this. Yeah. And you're only talking to me because I'm paying you. Yeah. And the same thing is happening on OnlyFans, except you always have those semi-delusional people.
What do you do?
That start to believe the relationship is something that it's not.
That's what worries me. That part would worry me if I was one of these young women. That's the only thing I worry about is the nutbag that is keeps calling me because he's paying, but he has a different something going on up here that is the
relationship means something different to him than it does to her.
Yeah.
And that is scary because it's the digital age. They have to hide everything about where they live. Yeah. Where they are, what they're doing, where they're going to be.
And with AI, you can take any photograph almost and figure out exactly where that was taken.
You could tell by the shades of the tree and the type of tree. It's like, this girl's in Central Texas. Yeah. It's like, holy shit, you got that from one photo?
Yeah, you sure can.
That's scary for these poor girls.
Yeah, and they need to think about all those things, which I'm sure some of them don't.
No, especially when they're at the beginning. Yeah. If they're not famous or getting to that fame point, they may not have thought that. But here's the thing is, those are issues that pretty women have been worried about for 100 years.
Well, that's true.
Regardless of OnlyFans, a gorgeous woman might have that exact same issue with a guy she's never talked to that develops a relationship in his imagination. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's a bizarre time that we live in. And as such, since we're on the topic of OnlyFans,
so with all that, and we're going to wrap this up.
I have an idea.
I want to hear it.
I am going to start my own OnlyFans. I don't think that these 20-year-old girls should be the only ones to have this kind of money.
So you're going to start an OnlyFans, and you're a man.
I'm a guy. I mean, I can do it. You're married. You can't do this. I can do this. I'm an unmarried man. I'm not going to do nudes unless we raise X amount of money. We'll find out. So what I want to do is every week, after tonight, I'm going to create an OnlyFans account.
Okay.
For me.
Okay.
And I might eventually do topless photos. I'll do the topless if I get to $200 in income from OnlyFans.
You've already got a fee structure set up?
I haven't fully set it up. I am going to set up for the subscriptions.
Okay.
I don't know who or why anyone would ever pay for this, but I'm going to make it available to everyone that I'm going to have an OnlyFans. And every week, we're going to have to do a check-in on my OnlyFans to see if I get any subscribers.
Well, let me ask you this. So what happens if suddenly it's a man on the line that's calling you? Well, what's your response? Are you still going to go take the $100 and take your shirt off?
For $100 and I don't have to meet the guy? Absolutely.
Okay, well then that's something
you know
that...
what? It's still a compliment.
There you go.
I definitely qualify.
You heard it here on the Sabo Ross experiment.
So as my dad calls them the gays, if one of the gays actually considers me what they call a bear, of which I qualify. I'm hairy, I'm old, I'm tall, and I'm fat. I'm a bear in that community.
I didn't know that.
I'm not an actual bear in that I'm not sexually attracted to men in any way. So I'm not an actual bear, but if they consider me that attractive in that form, I'll take their money.
Now, see, this is exactly what I was saying. Here comes the pressure. It's about the money. And look at that. You're already selling out, man.
I got bad news.
You're selling out.
If the money's green.
Yeah. Okay.
It depends. If I start feeling the real pressure, the problem is I'll have to describe it every week on the episode. It's like, I have somebody offering me $1,000 to show my wee-wee.
Oh, stop it.
Like if somebody's offering me $1,000, it's like, I don't know if I'm going to do that one, but $1,000 to think about it.
Well, see, that's what, I mean, there you go. You start thinking about the money, and then it's, because you know how hard you work to make $1,000, and if you could make it in,
10 minutes.
In your bathroom or something.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, again, it's like, am I really going to be concerned that people are going to be able to see this tiny thing? It's like, I might be a little embarrassed, right, but you know what? That's the extent of it. But
I don't want to talk anymore about that. You'll have to just we'll update everybody
update every week on what's going on.
And you get her built, and we'll see what happens.
And we'll see what happens. Like if there's zero interest in like 8-9 weeks, then we're just going to drop it. But
okay, please, thank you.
Yeah. What's the point of continuing something that no one cares about?
We need real substance on this show.
But yeah, like I said though, I want to experience that pressure if it exists for a man, a middle-aged man, the same as it is for a 20-year-old girl. I think that would be fascinating.
Well, we can. I will send a message to the Bop House, and maybe since Sophie's left, maybe we can get Ross on the Bop House. I don't know.
God! Imagine that. Imagine that. I can't picture what is wrong with society that anyone actually wants my OnlyFans. Like I'm gonna question sanity and the universe if this actually goes anywhere, does anything.
Okay. All right. Well, that wraps it up for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. OnlyFans. This guy here, we're going to keep tabs on him. This guy here, we're going to keep tabs on him.
I'm going to do my best.
Destiny. Destiny.